Of Zibby's, it always feels so intimate, like we can have a real conversation and not have to just, my dad was a sermon or was a preacher, and sermons can be a little one-sided. So I want to start by saying that we want you guys to be part of this conversation anytime you feel fit.
Yeah. I will say that we wrote a book called ADHD is Awesome, for example, and we came here. This is one of the stops to talk about the book, and there were so many inquisitive, curious kids in the crowd.
One of them was here.
One of them's a repeat, and the discussion, it was a lot of grown-ups talking. And I would say one of the inspirations that we realized we needed to get something for kids out very quickly. So you guys were the reason we wrote this, because we wanted kids to understand their brains a little bit better, knowing that their parents had this other book. So we were really excited to have the chance to do that. I think, Penn, do you want to read it?
I would love to read the book. It would only take a few minutes. Are you guys okay with that?
Can you make it work?
Does anyone need one to look at? If not, Kim can maybe turn the pages and I can try to do the teacher thing. Or,
yes.
Do you want to do that?
No, I'll just turn the pages.
Okay.
If I can figure, that's high
Cheryl,
pressure.
I think your receipt's in here. And there's a Books of Wonder dollar. This is just a little trick for ADHDers. You can do this. I'm just going to take this off because it's easier to turn the page with it. Because look, it's exactly the same, right? You guys that's your first rodeo, right? There you go.
Okay. I'll do this.
Yeah. All You Can Be with ADHD, Penn and Kim Holderness, illustrated by Vin Vogel. Can't wait to tell you about Vin Vogel. He's the guy who drew the pictures here, and he is fantastic. Hi there. We're up here in the tree. Just look for the sign that says ADHD. We've got a big clubhouse. We're pretty excited to have you around. Come on up. You're invited. Just high five the sharks, trampoline to the perch, rope swing past the ninjas. They're here selling merch. Climb, like that merch right there. Climb through that branch past the snake with the fiddle, then knock on the door. The password is this riddle. I am invisible. I rhyme with art. I start with an F. What am I?
You have to say
I can't turn the page until someone yells it. It has to be a kid. Yes, a fart. Thank you.
Woo!
I thought we were going to have to stop.
Thank you.
You may enter. Did you like that adventure? This is our club, and now you're a member. And here's a secret. If your brain's like ours, you don't know it yet, but you have secret powers. If your brain's like ours, if your brain's like ours, then you may be different. You may be fantastic. You may be vociferant. Vociferant, by the way, is someone or something that is noisy. If your brain's like ours, you're in the right tree. You're part of the same club, you and me, and everyone else who has ADHD. There are millions of us in this pretty big tree.
Turning pages.
Your brain is not broken. Not sure if you know this. You may have been bummed after your diagnosis. Look what it stands for. The name is so long. Those words made me feel like something was wrong. But I felt way better when someone told me that so many legends have ADHD. He makes the computers we use every day. Bill Gates has ADHD. Hooray! I've never read that out loud. I guess I have to do it.
Hooray!
Yeah. The greatest gymnast that you'll ever see. Yes, Simone Biles has ADHD. Actors, geniuses, famous musicians, gold medal swimmers, and mathematicians.
We did put Michael Phelps next to a shark there, but he's taking a selfie.
Yeah,
so
he's friends.
They're friends.
These are friendly sharks.
Yes.
Yeah. They're part of our club. So now can you see all you can be with ADHD? Our club is so awesome. Let it be known. And now we're together and you're not alone. Yes, it can be lonely. I've said to myself, why can't I be normal like everyone else? Sometimes we're squirmy. Sometimes we're forgetful. We interrupt friends. That makes us regretful. Sometimes we have trouble listening to a friend. We would space out on stories before they can end. When things go wrong, we can get really sad or really frustrated, and yes, even mad. What's normal to others, it sometimes upsets us, and that can be lonely. Not everyone gets us. Do these sound familiar, these examples I gave? If you answer yes, you are so very brave.
Yes.
You're brave.
You're very
You're
brave.
It's braver than getting haircuts in the dark. It's braver than feeding cupcakes to a shark.
Ooh.
It's brave to admit that sometimes things are tough. But here's the good news, the real awesome stuff. Your brain is a source of great innovation. You have an amazing imagination. Your brain can be super spontaneous. Plus, no one's more creative or funny than us. Those times when you're struggling with concentration, you may be finding some true inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Our brains can come up with ideas galore, ideas that no one has thought of before. There's more. When it comes to difficult problems, our brains come up with new ways to solve them. We're very accepting. We don't hate or grudge. We don't hate or judge. We're often forgiving. We don't hold a grudge. Remember how I said that sometimes we're sad? We're also resilient, and soon we'll be glad. It's one of the reasons we'd love to befriend you. We're also so loyal. We'll always defend you. Oh yeah, did I mention we're fun and outrageous? And we love to laugh, and laughing's contagious. Okay, that's our club, the club that we love. A club that exists in this tree high above. And now, hopefully, it's easy to see all you can be with ADHD.
Yay! You did it.
We did it. We did the whole thing.
We did the whole thing. I will say real quick about the book. Because I am who I am, I made sure that in the back pages that there's just like notes from us, and for maybe parents or more advanced readers, some, a section like make the most of your really cool brain, all that. And also some legends with ADHD. That was.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of fun to go through and find some others that have this. Before we get to questions and such, what are some of the things we wanted to talk about in this book? The squirrel that you see is sort of, he's our mascot.
He's sticking his head out right there.
Yeah, and Sophie's
and he's got on your shirt.
Yeah,
right
and the earrings.
Yeah.
So we actually are writing another book that'll come out this time next year. And the squirrel is sort of the main character. And it's Squeaky McGee.
He's got a name now.
It's got a name. We're
Irish.
Yeah, Squeaky McGee.
Squeaky McGee.
So it's been, eventually we're daydreaming. We'd love to do like more of a teen tween. And now we have to learn how to write for teens and tweens. So just 6, 7, we have to figure that out. That's a way to guarantee our kids will never say it.
That's right.
Start saying it.
That's right.
But yeah, we wanted this to be a conversation. So if anybody has questions, especially the kiddos, we would love to chat with you.
And if not, we can just keep talking.
And if not, we can talk forever.
Yeah, it is tough being the first one to say something. I do understand that.
I do understand that. And it doesn't even have to be about ADHD. We were just talking about bungee jumping over here.
Did you guys have anything in the book that made you say, "Whoa, that's me"?
Which one?
It was something. Yeah.
All of the above, basically.
All the above. But I saw you say you weren't squirmy. You're not squirmy?
No, I am.
You are?
She doesn't forget anything.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I have basically photographic memory.
Well, so I'm sure you probably know this too, but having a photograph memory for some ADHD is not uncommon, in particular if it's something that you care about, that really resonates with you. that where that kind of tuning fork goes off in your head, that you really like it, we tend to be really efficient at remembering things that we really care about.
That's so cool.
Pretty much all of it.
Oh, good. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. That's so sweet.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, will everyone say your names out loud when you, yeah.
I'm Haley. I think I was the squirrel.
You're the squirrel.
You're the squirrel. Okay.
Get
Well,
distracted.
I-
Yeah.
But also you're kind of, I would see you as being a potential leader as well, as the squirrel is the leader of this ADHD group, like from
I
everything
could
I
see
know
that.
about you, Haley.
Yeah.
So that's very cool.
Animal crackers.
Oh, Animal Crackers had her hand up, but now she's got
Yeah, Animal Crackers had her hand up.
There were a lot of bits of this that came from our original book, and I know I saw some of you when we put our first one out. So that book is essentially it's got 3 parts. It's got one part sort of explaining what's going on and letting you know that you're not alone, and then part two was really about the emotional side of it and how to make it work in relationships. And then part 3 are these systems that you can put in place to help make the most out of your really cool brain. So this book is parts 1 and 2, really, of that. And then the next book that comes out next year is going to be part 3, a lot of different sort of hacks that we encourage. It's the same sort of rhyming scheme for children.
Yeah.
So
You're coming back for that one, right?
if we're
Maybe
invited,
go to the Bay Area. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, honestly, the Bay Area came pretty strong. We got this entire side
Yeah.
of the aisle is from there. Yes.
I heard, I was checking this about, they're finding that they're actually studying girls
Yeah.
now in third grade, and they're finding the differences that like ADHD presents in girls and women, and that's where I'm starting to go like, oh, maybe that's, and I just wondered if you've like had people talk about that, or if you, because I know obviously you're like
So,
you and not.
okay. So, I've been in like therapy, and they've always told me like, oh, you have anxiety. Then I had a therapist recently go, this is actually classic ADHD. And I'm like, no, I don't have ADHD. My husband has ADHD. And so I was like, I reject this. I don't believe you, because I have to get things done. I can't have ADHD. So
Everyone in our family.
yeah. So, and it's hard stuff. And then I went to got tested again.
Because you're an Enneagram 1 and you don't.
I was like,
accept
well,
anything anyone says about you.
Yeah. So I was like, that's not right, because I can't have it, because if I have it, what are we going to do? And then, and so I went through a round of testing again with somebody else, and it showed up like, what was the term? Like therapeutically significant or something. Like, yes, because they were asking a lot of questions about childhood as well.
Right.
And but I'm still, and then I went to get like a brain scan by neurofeedback. I'm telling you, and the front 2 sections were like lit up like a Christmas tree. And they're like, that's attention and focus. I'm like, so I'm still working on that and still processing that. But all that to say that there are a lot more studies on girls and women
Than there used to be.
And they're just now happening. So we're not going to know for several years by the time they're peer reviewed and all this stuff. We live in North Carolina, and the Duke has a center for ADHD girls and women, and they're just studying girls and women. But some of the studies are losing funding, and so they're trying to raise funding. But just to study girls and women, it's going to be a while. But from what I have learned about my brain is, however hyperactive the boys were in class, that was just what was happening in my brain.
If I may, we just saw the reason why women are often not diagnosed with ADHD. Because what's going to happen if they are? Like, there's like, as far as moms are concerned. So of the studies that we know, girls are 3 times less likely to be diagnosed with ADHD than boys. Their symptoms present themselves, all about this, as either hyperactive or inattentive. Most boys present as hyperactive. That is in plain sight, right?
And that's
They're
easy
jumping
to
around.
diagnose.
Yeah. Girls, more often than not, are inattentive, and it's not because they have fewer symptoms. they internalize their difficulties way better than boys. Y'all are just tougher than us.
We are.
Sorry, boys.
We are.
That's yeah. I mean, that's just the way that it is. I mean, and we can be tough from time to time. So then those girls become women, and they become moms, and they become the de facto in a stereotypical traditional relationship. They become the de facto executive functioner.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the drawer closers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of times their symptoms go unnoticed because they're taking care of everyone else. And it can lead to, and Mel Robbins uses the word shame a lot. She's really good at this. Anyone who has any type of ADHD has felt some sort of shame at some point during their lives because they don't understand what's going on. So what we're doing and what you guys are now doing because you're here is helping people understand what ADHD is, getting that word out, because understanding is the most important thing to eliminate shame, that and belonging.
Yeah. So I'm doing whatever work I'm supposed to be doing, but I think it's really important that now the conversations we're having are helping this generation of kids is just never going to feel shame or never going to feel the stigma.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a whole generation of women that just will never know, what was happening. And I'm hoping that our girls and our boys just never have to feel, they're different, but there's no disorder. There's no deficiency. That's just their brain works a little differently. And it's pretty awesome.
So sorry I was late.
Well, hello.
You'll understand. I have no voice. I'm a second grade teacher.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Yes.
Second grade teacher.
I'm a second grade teacher with ADHD.
Okay.
Ooh.
So yeah, I had to run back to work because I forgot my glasses.
And they were on your head.
Wait a minute. Are you serious?
Yes.
You were late because you went back to get your glasses and they were on your head. I'm just letting the live streamers know because your glasses were on your head the entire time.
Yeah.
That is
Okay.
wonderful.
Because they're for reading because I forgot to put my other ones away and my dog ate them. So I have to put them away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hear
This
you.
is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to say thank you because I was 42 years old when I was diagnosed with ADHD. My brother, 7 years younger than me, was diagnosed at 7 years old. And when I told my mom during COVID, hey mom, did you know I have ADHD? She goes, you? No, your brother. Yes, I never had to worry about you.
That's it,
And
right?
because
That's
I was
it.
that mother to my younger brother, I knew my mom, my actual mom, couldn't handle another kid with ADHD. So when I was diagnosed, it actually convinced my mom to look into herself.
Oh, good.
And I something they won't say yes or no, just because it could be forgetfulness because of age.
Oh, got it.
But they're like, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Right.
Sure.
So I've been diagnosed. My son was diagnosed. My daughter was diagnosed with dyslexia recently, but they go hand in hand.
They do.
Now she's being diagnosed
That's right.
with ADHD. And now, fingers crossed, my husband will go with me.
So you have a fun house.
That's the same thing with mine.
This house, yeah.
He has ADHD.
Well,
But
yeah.
I did buy your other book.
Yeah.
I got 2 chapters in when I couldn't read it anymore because I was going.
Yeah.
So I got it on audio.
Yeah.
And I finished it.
Well, thank you. Well, and we try to write that book and frame it for the ADHD brain to have all these like colors and stuff, but still we know the ADHD brains, it's hard to get through something like that. So I'm glad that the audio helped.
So thank you very much.
of course.
How has being getting that diagnosis helped you?
It explains so much.
Okay.
I actually am diagnosed with a very mild form.
Mhm.
My issue is executive functioning.
Mhm.
If you need something organized, I am your girl. 2 weeks later, I'm on to some other way of organizing. I can't see
Yeah.
Everybody's laughing and
So
nodding.
no,
over.
Kim caught me onto this thing. Was that on Facebook? There is a Facebook page for people with ADHD with hobbies, and it's just
to trade the
Yeah,
things
it's just
that they
a
were
way because you're
into.
done with it after 2 weeks, and
Brilliant.
then they'll like ship it to
So,
somebody
like, if
else.
you're
It's
into
like a
water-
library for hobbies.
Yeah, it's like you're
yeah.
really into watercolors. It's been a month, not anymore.
Yeah.
But I bought all the things.
Yeah.
As a teacher with teenagers, I don't have time for hobbies.
Right, but one day you will.
Because my hobbies are their hobbies.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
Um,
driving them to their hobbies.
Right, you know,
Yeah.
hockey 4 days a week.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, in LA, hockey.
Oh.
4 days a week. But yeah.
Okay. I have also, I went all over the house looking for my phone, and I was talking to my mom. I'm like, I cannot find my phone. And she's like, babe, you're on your phone. Yeah, if you've done
No,
that. I think that's perimenopause.
I'm almost right at that door.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's going to be
It
awesome.
is, but that's another thing that kind of muddies the water when you're trying to diagnose women, because, and that's why they ask questions about childhood, right? It has to be present in childhood as well as adulthood, and in more than one facet of your life. So at work, at home, at school, can't just be in one spot. So
The question that they asked me that put it over the edge was, are you a procrastinator? And I said, oh my God, I finished my thesis for my master's degree the night before it was due.
So
That'll
who here who has ADHD is a procrastinator? Okay.
actually,
Oh, do we?
I had an entire month to finish my book project, and I had like 400 pages, but I left it with 1 week left.
And her dad is like,
can I unpack this a little bit? Yeah, I was about to say, because you were super focused on it when you did it. Do you need that
adrenaline of the deadline? Is that
running
what
out
it
of time?
is?
Because that challenge, right? So the ADHD brain has what's called an interest-based nervous system. And we function at our highest when 3 things are present. Something that is new or novel. So a book report would be something new that you've never seen before, right? Something challenging. And to your point, sometimes we have to make up a challenge to make it work. And I know it's frustrating for some people, but that is just part of our brain. And the third thing is something that's of personal interest.
And not failing is of personal
I bet you
interest.
wanted to get a good grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's one piece of advice I'm going to give you and everyone else here that has changed my life in procrastinating is I have started creating micro deadlines before actual deadlines. And I've done it enough that I kind of will mentally punish myself if I don't make the deadline. So your deadline in that situation someday might be, you're going to finish that book the first day that you get it.
So how Penn does it and how we've started to do it as a family is, okay, you have to read a 100-page book for school. Read 2 pages. And chances are you'll read more than that.
Not just read 2 pages, but you got to read 2 pages in 5 minutes. Like give yourself a deadline.
Well, he gives a deadline.
No, it helps. I'm telling you, it helps me. It helps me.
Yeah. And it's literally, or some days when you're feeling it, like you're just not feeling it, and you just got to take to the bed. Sometimes it's just like open the book.
Mm-hmm.
Just open it, and then you're like, okay, well, I've opened the book. I might as well when I'm here. Okay, I'll read 1 page, and just that little hit of accomplishment of like getting there. I do the same thing with working out. Like I'm just going to go to the gym and I'm only going to walk on the treadmill for 7 minutes and then I can leave. So, and then from there, and I've done 7, I can do 10 and then I could, yeah. So micro deadlines are kind of how we beat. The microphone just went down my shirt. Yeah, there we go.
I don't even know how I did that.
It
unhooked. Outside of your shirt.
It's in my bra. Okay.
Do you want me to? Why don't you hop in? Hey, why don't you hop on into the restroom or something?
I got it. Got it. Okay, we're good. We're fine. Keep
what
talking.
else is on everyone's mind? Did you have your head up? Okay, sorry.
How do you get through Romeo and Juliet Shakespeare with ADHD? I had to do that last year. It took a month and a half.
I never did.
I'm like, where?
Sorry,
No,
Mom.
Shakespeare's tough.
It was rough.
Can I give you just one tip for Shakespeare? Have you gotten the rhythm of the iambic pentameter in your head?
Are you musical at all?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so that was one thing. I guess it helped me get through, but then most of the time I was just looking for the iambic pentameter. But it goes da dun da dun da dun da dun da dun every line. Da dun da dun. 2 households both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. And when it became like a jazz poem to me, it was a little bit easier to listen to. I don't know if that would help you.
And it helps me. It's helped my son and daughter. If I'm sure it's on Audible, And so reading and like just I mean it's
Well, they also have a book now. It's like this thick, and so half of it they'll do it's dual translated. So here's the Shakespeare and here's the English, and each page. Then that's how we ended up doing.
Wait, Shakespeare in English? Shakespeare is English.
No, but like real talk.
Sorry,
Oh, like-
it's hard.
Oh,
Like two kids,
Gen
they're in
Z.
Verona. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And there's
6 or 7 households, both of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh, that's really cool.
That's really cool.
That helped a lot.
But Shakespeare is
That was
really
hard.
hard. Shakespeare is really hard, and I can't believe they're still teaching it.
So can I go back to the phone and the glasses thing?
Please.
This is kind of similar, but my mom was like looking for her keys, and she was like, "Where could they be?" And then she looked everywhere, so she looked in the fridge, and there they were on the top shelf.
Mhm.
Do you
when
know?
she got her snack?
Do you know
that is
why?
Because she walked. So this is where if we have lost keys,
Fridge.
the first place we look is a fridge.
Do you know why?
Yeah, you walk into the house and you're hungry.
Yes. And what interrupts executive functioning more than anything?
Hunger.
Hunger and food. So most of the time that you lose something, it's near
Food. In our house,
Yeah.
it's near food, so we just look near food, and you know it's good to know about like your mom's working memory. So like when she's reaching for the yogurt, the keys don't even exist anymore, right? She just wants the yogurt. So
Yeah. Does anyone know the mixing board analogy from the book that we wrote? Okay. So those of you who don't know, ADHD brains are like a mixing board, or just anyone's executive functioning is like a mixing board. It's like one of those boards in the back of an auditorium for a big theater show, and they have 800 lights that you dim up very slowly. So you've got like the pretty purple lights, and you've got the orange lights, you get the spotlights, and you bring them all up, half, 10%, 50%, and it makes this beautiful, perfect composition of lighting because of little tiny increments in each one of those things. And all 20 of those lights can exist at the same time. That is a neurotypical brain. That's a normal brain that is able to multifunction and keep all of those things in their working memory. The ADHD brain, those dimmers are on-off switches. There's no halfway, and you can only turn on one at a time. Because as soon as you move on to something else, whatever else it is that you're working on has left your working memory, which is why we leave stuff everywhere.
Yep.
From the other room, I just hear my mom, "Where's my phone?" And do you know how many times I have to call my mom's phone each day?
I don't.
She's outing
A
her
lot?
mom.
Yeah.
Your mom got you here every day. I know.
Because she called me, and I was able to find my phone so we could leave.
Yeah, it's your help. It takes a village.
By the way, I love that the kids are dominating this conversation because we are
Absolutely.
talking about a kid's book, and it makes me super happy that you guys are doing it. But I'm also happy to
Yeah.
hear from moms.
How do you go about getting tested? I had a friend that I was telling that was coming here today, and I've known her for like over 10 years. And I was like, because I have ADHD or whatever. And she's like, "You do? You don't move around a lot or anything." I'm like, "That's not what ADHD is."
Yeah.
Not always.
But it's like, how do I'm 45. So
Right.
I was like, how do I get a doctor to actually listen?
So if first of all, we know there's a mental health crisis in our country, and if you try to make an appointment with a mental health, therapist, this is why it's like taken me forever. It's months long, right? But if it's a pretty straightforward case, if you're a kid, a pediatrician can make a diagnosis. If it's pretty straightforward, and as an adult, a primary care provider should have access to. They have these questionnaires that you basically are filling out, and can do a medical health history, and should be able to make an educated diagnosis. If you can go. My kids, I had them do this like 2 to 3 day test because we live in a college town, and the universities they did like 3 days. They hated it. It was awful. But especially if a friend or yourself feels like they need help immediately, a primary care physician should be able to do that.
And books like this certainly don't diagnose people, but sometimes they ask good questions to kind of get people in the door.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I have 7 kids, so I have one with
7.
autism,
okay.
Okay.
and I have my 10-year-old here who is showing signs of ADHD, you know, and several of them are like
They
showing
dance
signs
together.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get
So
along.
it's like it's in our family.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, and I'm the crazy one. So we have to-
But you know, it is interesting. We've learned so much about ADHD, and one of the things we've learned is it dances well with autism, anxiety, dyslexia.
Gets along with
It
all
gets
of them.
along with a lot of them. In fact, you know, the type print we picked is supposed to be it's like one of the best type prints for dyslexia. And so, which I just thought was, I really wanted something super fancy and artistic, and they're like, absolutely not, because they're going to have dyslexic kids trying to read this.
We
So,
looked at the possibility of doing the bionic words as well. Have you guys heard of those before?
Bionic
If you have trouble reading,
yeah, it,
So
does, it like bolds different things.
it bolds the first 3 letters of every word, and that sometimes works for ADHD, dyslexia, all kinds of stuff. So
it took us 13 years to get my son diagnosed because we're military.
Mhm.
The military doctors just dismissed me.
I'm so sorry.
There's something going on.
mm-hmm.
So by the time he was 13, he took it as there's something wrong with me.
Oh.
It was so hard to walk through. He's now 19, he's an adult, but it's still hard.
Yeah.
And then like this one here, he doesn't understand me at all. So listening to your book on audiobooks, yes it is. Because you don't understand why I do the thing.
Zechariah, do you like hearing this about you while you're back there?
No, my husband on top.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you said that. Oh, I didn't realize it was my bad. Okay.
But listening to a book, I was like, he is you,
Yeah.
and I am you. Like
Yeah.
I was like, it makes sense. It's like, see, this is normal. I found someone who understands me.
But I feel like it's even harder. Not that it's not hard for a grown man, but I think it's harder for women, and it's probably really hard for a woman with 7 kids to have to
Sure.
spin all those plates. So good for you for getting here.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're doing great.
Yeah.
You're doing great, and thank you for being here.
So I want to say thank you for all that you do. I saw you speak at the National ADHD Convention in Anaheim.
Oh, Chad.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm a high school special education
Oh,
teacher,
great.
and so I work with a lot of kids with ADHD, adult with ADHD, 2 daughters with ADHD, wife with ADHD. So we're very neurospicy.
Yeah.
Probably 3 dogs would take.
3
Three dogs
dogs.
with ADHD.
Well, I mean mine.
But at that convention, it was really, it was very inspiring, you know, hearing your keynote and then going to all the different speakers and learning about all the different things. So I'm pursuing my ADHD coaching certification.
Good.
That's fantastic.
And so I appreciate all that you do to kind of destigmatize it, to, you know,
How can you teach your
Well,
Your teacher voice, I think but I can hear it so clearly. I'm here for it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
and I think it's fantastic because, you know, I was talking to a woman right here about when we were young and we were ADHD, it was just like, here's some pills and
If you got
Mhm.
And
that.
may the odds be in your favor.
Yeah, it's the Hunger Games. Yeah. So,
yeah.
and we talked about that a ton at Chad, and thank you for bringing it up. There's a lot of coaches at Chad, and they are very important in the long-term success of people with ADHD. You were talking about the pills in the 90s when I got diagnosed. It was the medical model, right? And they still kind of do it a little bit this way, but
Which
back,
medicine's great.
Yeah.
If it works for you, medicine's great.
right. But it was, hey, Penn, yeah, you got a pretty flaming case of ADHD. Here's some pills. Good luck. I'll see you in 6 months. And nothing about the maintenance that really should be done when you have this type of brain. So there's medication and there's behavioral interventions. Not everyone uses medication. If you do, great. I don't. I feel like my creativity works best when my attention is completely unfettered and goes all over the place. But if I'm not going to use medicine, or even if you are going to use medicine, you've got to do work on putting some systems in place for your brain, whether or not you're on medication. That's what coaches are for. That's what they're fantastic at, is really like working with individuals on your specific type of ADHD, because we're all different. ADHD is very ADHD, right? And then putting these systems in place that are attainable, upstream, sometimes fun for people who need that sort of thing, and really make the most of what your strengths are. So awesome that you're doing this for a living. And I can't say enough about ADHD coaches.
What you got?
I've been starting to think did you know that like the military has sort of some issues about like if you are diagnosed with ADHD, like you can't be on medication or have like been diagnosed. So no one knows my name, so I'm gonna share. Like
Yeah.
my son, all he's ever wanted is to be in the military. He said, so we just went and signed him up in the Marines. Like,
Oh,
I
good
know
for
your
you.
mom feels.
Yeah.
But basically, I'm hoping that like his school testing like doesn't somehow because he was never
Transfer.
medically diagnosed and has mild.
Right.
But I just didn't know if that had come up in your research and like thoughts on it. And it's kind of I
Wow.
think like the thing he can hyper focus on is like
Something
the
he's
military. Like that's all he's wanted.
He wants
Yeah, I'm
to
pretty sure
serve.
most drone pilots have ADHD, but like we'll get back to that like in a little
So
bit.
and like
But yeah.
video games, it's very related. So
Yeah.
I just think like it's kind of I'm like really how many especially boys are we ruling out that
I
could,
have
like,
never heard that
he had to check a
before.
box that says like he doesn't, and we all kind of were like, you don't have, right? Sure.
So there's a
And
box
I'm
that
just praying
says,
that
"Do
it
you
doesn't.
have ADHD or
It's
do
like
you have
a
any sort of?"
medical, like in the check boxes of like, do you
I got
have
it.
a thing?
And they
I-
probably had
check
a
that.
lot of other stuff too, but ADHD
Yes.
was on the
And
list.
if you
Okay.
check yes, it can potentially eliminate you from serving.
Or if okay, we have our
So-
military.
Yeah,
guy.
I'm glad this is the discussion. Yeah.
Right, I
I
mean,
have
yeah.
had troops that have ADHD
Yeah.
and other types of
But he basically resisted getting medication because he was afraid.
Right, and I've asked people that have taken medication, right?
And they weren't ruled
It's
out.
not an automatic no go. There are certain things that are automatic no go. But yeah, there's just you gotta have like the evaluation.
There might be like-
But doesn't necessarily mean it's absolutely no.
You said that you've had troops. Are these people that were like under your command, or are these people? Okay.
Not supervised personally.
Okay.
Okay.
And I bet you they did a great job. I'm assuming they did. They did.
Yeah, that was
Because
my
they-
next question. Like, did you see any?
Well, I mean, it's just, every person I've ever supervised is different.
Right.
Mhm.
So I've always, I'm not, there's no cookie cutter way to supervise people, right? Especially in the military. And so, just like trying to figure out their quirks, their tweaks, right? Like things
Yeah.
that make it help them to be better at whatever that we're doing. That's my job, right? That's what I do. So sometimes I got to get creative with that person, right? But yeah, it's
You sound like such a good
Yeah,
supervisor.
I'm actually really glad you're in the military.
I wish we
Yeah.
all had bosses like that that found out like what makes us tick. Yeah. Oh.
I had met one of his guys, and he came home one day, and I was like, "So this guy has ADHD. He has this. He has that." And I was giving him pointers on how to treat him because that's what I was like,
Yeah.
I can totally relate to him on why he's doing that. So he's not doing that to
To be
yeah,
disrespectful.
to be like disrespectful to you or whatever. It's just his brain can't function like that. So you
Yeah.
have to do this, and it's like little tips and tricks for him.
Good for you.
Um,
Maybe like one more question, and then I think we're gonna like take some pictures and sign some books and stuff. If I know, yes, go ahead.
I didn't get diagnosed until I was like 10 with ADHD, but I also got diagnosed with autism when I was 13, and I want to be a autism and ADHD psychologist when I'm older for pediatrics because I know how hard it is being an adolescent because most people get diagnosed when they're like 5 or 4
Yeah.
or 3, and like there's no resources for teenagers. at
There's
all.
none. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how lucky are those kids gonna be? I'm so glad you're doing it. That's so special. You're gonna be so good at that. I can tell. Well, thank you all.
this was really
for
cool.
coming. This was a great conversation. And for a bunch of ADHDers sitting still.
Right.
We talked about maybe next year if we have this next book that we're going to give everybody fidget toys and then maybe like bouncy seats or something.
All of it.
Yeah, or maybe you're all standing up. But we'd love to take a few pictures if you guys want them and sign a few books if you have them. So would that be okay? Okay, great.
I just want to say thank you on behalf of
Thank you.
I can tell this is such a gift to have a safe space for you guys to come and ask your questions, and I wish we could have these in all of the classrooms
I
so that
know.
kids could pick it up and
That is
read it and-
That's our
But the
dream.
dream is
Yeah.
that so my cousin's a second grade teacher and she read it to her class today and she said it brought up such a good conversation for the kids that don't have ADHD.
For
And
everybody.
it brought up so now like I was like, oh, that's why he's like having his like movement breaks and all this. And so it just helped them understand their friends better. So
I mean,
yeah.
for parents too, like if a kid brought this home, it might spark something in the parent, like, oh,
Oh, that's me
very,
too.
yeah, yeah. Anyhow, so yes, we have more books. If you want to pick one up, if you don't already have one, they can sign them, take pictures, and thank you again.
Thank you. And I definitely will.
I think maybe this thing is